सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुदः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। The last two lines I didn't get by heart. That is it. Okay, now we go to the 54th verse. Dravyam dravyasya heduhu anyadanyasya jaivahi. Only a dravyam can give rise or a karanam for another dravya, not to itself. One dravyam cannot give birth to itself. So also the Atman cannot give birth to itself. It's already there. There is no need for birth, is what previously established. Now he says, Dravyam dravyasya heduho syad anyadanyasya jaivahi. And something else is the karanam for anya. What is not that dravyam? Some other thing gives birth to some other thing. So, here he says, Dravyatvam anyabhavo va, a separate namarubatmagam object is born from some other object. It cannot be the same. If you say it is the same, then there is no separateness between them. Is it not? Suppose I say that Atman is Jiva. Then what will happen? Jiva is not separate from Atman. That we have said so many times. And hence he says, Dravyatvam anyabhavo va dharmanam nopapadyate. So that Atma adravyam ananyam. So it doesn't have a karya karana bhava. When there is only one, it cannot give rise to another. In other words, putting it there put in the tarka language, it makes it more difficult. So we say, when a thing is anadi, it cannot give birth. When a thing has no dravyatvam and anyabhava, then what happens? Whatever is you are seeing, no bhavadyade, there cannot be any karya karana bhavam between them. So only one is there. You cannot say anything else is born. Okay. This you have to 50, what is that verse? 53rd verse, what we read just now. Atma is unborn and one, and hence it cannot be its own karana. You cannot say it is a costless thing. What is not substantial cannot be the karana of other dravyas. And Atma is adravyam and ananyam, and hence cannot be either a karyam or karanam of anything. There is no foundation for the birth of the Dvaita Prapancham. Dvaita Prapancha Nishedham this is. So it is not the karanam anyway. Then what about Dvaita Prapancham? Dvaita Prapancham also you are seeing in the Atman, and it is Atman alone. But Atman has not given birth. Like the rope has not given birth, the snake is seen there are so many other vadas which Gaudavada does not even touch. Srishti Drishtivadam, Drishti Srishtivadam, like that. Because these vadis have no other work except to coin so many new words and confuse us. Suppose you are an accountant. If you don't want the institution to know about the money that is there, or they want to hide something, then they will make it all one koyapa. Nothing you can make out from that account. Like that, these vadis are one confusing word and after another confusion. Yesterday when I went to meet Swamiji, he asked me, what does Gaudavada say about Drishti Srishtivada? And Ajadivada. What is the difference? He's just testing me, I said, I had not seen, Gaudavada never said anything about Srishti Drishtivada. He only said Ajadi. And for what is Ajadi? Where is Srishti? Where is Drishti? What is not there? How can you see also? We are not said that is all in your Vedanta Sara book. You refer to that. I said. We also get into arguments sometimes. He is very pleased with us. I think your students have understood so well. He is telling. And he's telling, when are you taking Ashtavakra Gita? I said, Ashtavakra Gita is na jayade. Dharmana nova. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. And I kept going. The whole substantial world is the result of an intangible consciousness in motion, they say. 53. Dravyatvam ananya bhavam, because of from one dravya, another dravya can be born. But that cannot be the cause for some other object. Anya bhavam is not there. The Atma is never a dravyam, and there is nothing other than Anya bhavam is not there. There is nothing other than the Atman in this world. So, it is Ajam, Adravyam, Ananyam. Now we added one more. Ajam, Adravyam, Ananyam. Ananyam means there is no other. So, it is not correct to say that from it something else has come. And what is that something else? Why it is not the same? Because the Viruddha Svabhava is there. Viruddham. Atman is all bliss, Atyanta Sukham, and it is Nityam and it is Satyam. None of that are available in the world that we see. Hence there is no ananya bhavam. It is other than the Atman. And if you are seeing something, it is only seeing, not really the Atman is not really the karanam for the world. Karya karana bhava nishedham it is. So, having said that, he says, evam na chittaja dharmaha chittam vapi na dharmajam evam hetu phala jadim pravishanti manishanaha. Evam, in like this, dharmaha here means vishayas. Now I want you to know that each place it is different meaning. Dharmaha here means the vishayas are not born of chittajam. It is not born out of chittaja dharmaha. Bahya dharmas are not born out of chittam. Which chittam? Here it is different meaning. Again, nandargadaladaste. Evan na chittaja, thus appearance of external sense objects is not created by the mind. Chittajam. We said everything was created by the mind. See, once you say one thing and the next minute, that is also negated. In the beginning of the it is said that everything is born. Chittam itself has divided into two, and one portion is the objects and the other portion is the subject. Subject-object division. But then now he says, it is not born out of chittam because chittam is not there. The mind itself is an appearance. So how can you say it is born out of the mind? And evam na chittaja dharmaha chittam vapi na dharmajam. Or you cannot say it's only bahya vishayas are not from the chittam. And what is it then? Chittam vapi na dharmajam, and not the chitta is born from the objects. Objects are not born from the chitta. Chitta is not born from the objects. Why? Because why? Not there. And what is it that you are saying? Both the objects and the chittam are only a notion in the consciousness. Or you cannot say that also. I mean, you fail to express. You in the pure consciousness, he is saying here, it is a mere notion in the mind. And then they say, in the same verse he says, chittam is not there. Oh, very difficult it becomes there. If it is not there, then where is that notion coming? No objects are born. In fact, the chittam itself is not born. Have you understood? I didn't understand. It is very difficult there because you are going on nedi vakyena. You are going on negating everything. And when you negate, what happens? Then who is getting this notion? At least the mind should be there. And because he will come to that conclusion, he keeps on saying, chittaja, it is not chittajam, it is not chittam at all, chittam is never born. Now how will we explain this? The whole thing is only a misapprehension of the truth, is it not? The whole world is nothing but a misapprehension due to the non-apprehension. You cannot negate this. So, due to the non-apprehension of the truth, so many misapprehensions have come in the world. And the greatest misapprehension is the world itself. And plus BMI, everything is a misapprehension. So, who sees this world and the objects and the subject? Only in the Vyavaharika satta only it has. When you say Chittam is not there, you must understand Paramarthika Satyam it doesn't have. You understand? Vyavaharika Satyam it has. Otherwise, how can we say from the mind alone all this? Where is the mind? Only in that superimposed world, mind is there. But mind is not there in that. Paramarthika Satyam is there is no mind, no intellect, no nothing, no three avasthas, no nothing, only the pure consciousness. So every time Gaudapada talks about in this contradiction, you must also rise to that. In the Vyavaharika world, there is Satyam for the mind. You know what Satyam? Vyavaharika Satyam. So, it is only a Vyavaharika interpretation, not an absolute interpretation. In the absolute, there is no mind, no nothing. No objects. It is two levels he is talking. You want everything in one level. One level is not. You have to go up and down like this. He says here, Evanna chittaja dharmaha chittam vabina dharmajam. What Gurudev says, we'll see. Evanna chittaja, the general theory, the appearance of external sense objects is not created by the mind, nor can we say that the mind is produced by them. Hence, all men of wisdom held the principle of non-creation or non-evolution. There is no creation is what which is otherwise called as the total negation of causality in Brahman. The Karana Bhavam is being, Karya Karana Bhavam is being negated by Gaudapada. Total negation of causality in the absolute. So if at all there is, you are seeing something, that is because of the Maya. Was said before. And Maya is only misapprehension, not even due to non-apprehension. And that Maya creates a illusory mind, illusory objects, illusory subject. Is it clear? It is not creating anything. It's not the karanam for anything at all. Is what Karya Karana Bhavam, whatever Hedu and Bhala are there, it is all Mithya Namarupa. So when you say mind, that is also a Mithya Namarupa. When you say Jiva, that is also a Mithya Namarupa. Have you understood this? That by not apprehending the truth, you give rise to the appearance of many Namarupas which are not real. Similarly, by not apprehending the truth of Brahman, you are giving rise to a world of plurality which is nothing but Namarupas, Vajarambhanam, Namadheya. Is it not Vajarambhanam? Vikaro, Namadheya. So it's all mere names. What is Jiva? A name. What is Manaha? Name only. It doesn't matter. It is Rupa. Doesn't matter. Whether with Rupa or without Rupa, all doesn't matter at all. As long as it is only a Mithya. In other words, that one infinite reality cannot give birth to unreal objects in the world or the apparent mind and intellect, apparent world. But I am seeing experience is no proof of reality. Experience is no proof of reality. And what is the example? The sky is blue, which is not true. Seen, but not true. Pratyaksha, but it is not true. Science will tell you it is not at all true. There is no color in the ocean, in the sky. But I am seeing color. Mirage water. All these are examples. If that is acceptable, then you must accept from the absolute point of view, all these are only namarupas and nothing, what do you say? In Tamil we say kayamba. Kayamba means there is no substantiality in that. Purinjida? Okay. So he says here, the general theory explaining the world of objects is that the mind projects. That is what we have accepted till now. But hereafter we should not say. The mind projects, we say. And there is another theory of the psychologists who strive to prove that impulses received continuously through the sense organs maintain themselves a world of perception. All these are only theories. But really speaking, you must never forget Gaudapada is talking only from the absolute level, not from the relative. So it is said like this in the Shastra, it is said here, in that book, in this book. Don't say all the books are also in the Vyavahar. And my teacher said like, oh, teacher also is in the teaching. That is also Maya teaching. Hey, your teacher, why then you are teaching? If it is Maya. You understand? Then we give a beautiful example that in the dream I saw a tiger and the tiger was chasing me and I was about to be caught by the tiger when I fell down from my bed. What is that? Dream. And woke up. So a dream tiger was capable of waking up a sleeping man. You understand? So also we are thinking this dream teaching will wake you up one day. So we are teaching. Have you understood? Really speaking, teaching also is in the Vyavahara world only. Finally, you will say when you realize, I hope at least some will realize, you will say, who are you? You will ask me only. You understand? Another Namarupa. You understand? Everything is Namarupas. I am the pure consciousness in which Namarupa Prasaram is the world. Okay, thus we must understand the perceptions which in its totality gives rise to the idea of a mind. So this is how we see the mind. From what we have seen so far, it now becomes evident that neither can we explain the perceived in terms of the mind, nor can we explain the mind in terms of the perceived. The perceived cannot explain the mind, the object cannot explain the mind, or mind can explain the object. Both are subject and object, both are only a appearance. Nama is there. Some of them have Rupa also, but they are not real. Is there? Evam Hedu you can see and Bhalam you can see. All these are available for perception. Bahya Vishayas and Chitta both are mere spandanam in the Vijnanam. Vijnanam, pure consciousness. Other than that, nothing else is born. Everything else is only a misapprehension. Continuing, he says, Yavat hedu bhala vesha Tavad hedu bhalodbhavaha Kshine hedu bhala veshe Nasti hedu bhalodbhavaha. Now, it is only a mere thought. Now don't ask which mind and all that. Because that's the problem in negating everything. In negating everything, you will immediately ask, with what mind you have? you are thinking. So again and again I must say, when we are talking about mind and other things, it is only from the Vyavaharika Satya, not from the absolute. At least that, differentiation you must be able to do. By this time, anyway we are ending the text, by this time you should be able to say from which level Gaudapada is talking. Is he talking from the Vyavaharika Satya level or from the Paramarthika Satya? Then only we'll understand. Hedu Balam. Hedu Balam means Karya Karanam only. Karyam and Karanam. Hedu is Karanam. Bhalam is Karyam. Hedu Bala Aveshaha. So long as you have faith in Karya Karana, what will happen? That long, there will be Karya Karana. You have faith in Hedu Bhala Avesham is there, then there will be Hedu. And you are always trying to find out what is the Karanam. In the Paramarthika Satya, there is no second. And without a second, how can there be Karya and Karana? Karya Karana means two. Two is not there. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So then there is Jagan Mithya. That is all. And where do I see the mind, intellect, the body, the perceiver, feeler, thinker, the ego and the objects, outside world, Bahya Vishayam, the inner world of thoughts and feelings, emotions. Where are you seeing all that? In the Vyavaharika. So from the Vyavaharika standpoint it is there. But from the absolute point, it is not there. Nedi, not this. Our journey is towards the absolute truth. So naturally on the way, whatever is not the absolute truth, you have to negate. Nedi, nedi, vakyena. That is what he is doing. Now don't get frightened. Jiva is also not there. Mind is also not there. Nothing is there. Where am I standing now? That fright will come in the mind of the people. They find it convenient and consoling to hold on to this Hedu Bala Avesham. As long as you have it, there will be Karya Karanam for you, not otherwise. If you are in the truth, there is neither Karya Karana Vilakshanam Brahma. These things are very difficult to put in words. So if you find it difficult, I do not blame you. Only thing is, put the entire focus of your mind and intellect on what is being taught. Then only it will reveal itself to you. You are not going to know it by this little intellect. It is very good in the Vyavaharika world. Which one? Your intellect. And it is a unavoidable necessity in the world of plurality. If you don't have intellect, you know what will happen. It is very much there. But when you are seeking the truth, that is also not the truth. Drop the mind, drop the intellect. When the Vedantin says, it means this is not it. That's all. Each one we come and say, this is not it. Nedi. And then what is remaining? And is it the one who is negating? That is the ego. That is the jiva. Is it not? That also it is not. You have to drop the ego. This dropping of the entire world of plurality is what is called nedi nedi vakyena. So don't get frightened, jiva is also not there. Mind also is not there. What is there then? Other than the known, other than the unknown, Kenopanishad says. What is there other than the known and other than the unknown? Tell me. No, we know the world only as something known and something unknown. More than that we don't know. So the teacher says, it is very difficult to point out Brahman to you. So the teacher says, half the world you know, half the world you don't know. There is the world of emotions and thoughts and all this, only very little of it we know. Not entirely. And it is not that. Have you understood? And when you realize the truth, what happens? All these were only imagination. Not the dream. My waking state, in my waking state I say, that dream is only an illusion. Is it not? When you wake up to that, you say even the waking world is only a illusion. From that level. From this level, is it real? That is why we are not able to apprehend the truth so easily. Because we are still in the waking world, which is a long, long dream. It's a little difference from the other dream. You know, I can see the same dream again and again in this. You understand? I come to the same waking world again and again. I see the same objects again and again. When you wake up, the wife is not there, children are not there, means very difficult, you know. Who will bring the coffee now? You understand? It is a frightening experience. In that understanding, everything has become egi bhavati. It has become one with the higher. There is nothing. But you have not become you should not become frightened. That is why you learn all this. You should not become frightened. Why? I have expanded to be that. And whatever I am seeing is only a dream. Whatever I am seeing in the world also is a dream. Dream never bothers the dreamer. It only bothers the waker. And waker says, what a stupid, unbelievable dream. When you wake up to the higher state of consciousness, you will also say, what a dream I was. What all I did. And I did so many sadhanas. Went to so many satsangs. What all I did. And what is it that realization is what? Nothing to realize. Na utpatti, na nirodha, no utpatti. And what else? Na baddhaha, na mokshaha. This is moksham. There is no other thing than called moksha. You have got all types of illusions about moksha also. About the heaven. What heaven? In this thing, heaven is the first which will be negated. In our argument, heaven will be the first thing to go. Hell also will go. Don't worry. Hell and heaven you make by your mind here. If you go on imagining I am bound, you are bound. If you think you are in a miserable hell, the mind has created your world. The mind, which one? The relative mind. What do you call? Illusory mind has created an illusory life for yourself. Why are you suffering? Like Gurudev says, anybody comes with a grub like that, he gets so angry. And one lady, I told you that before, she was sitting and crying. She lost her husband recently and she was crying. Gurudev also waited when she will stop crying. Then she didn't stop. And he got so angry, I was shocked. That how can he get angry with a woman who is suffering? And he said, stop it! Really? You are not come here to cry. You are come here to dry up those tears. Smile. That is my motto. He was very kind after that, but he wanted to give her a shock treatment. You understand? All our crying and all our sorrow is imaginary. How can you say all this? Do you be in my shoes and then see? Whatever sorrow you are going through, it is created by your own mind. No Ishvara is posited here, who is going on sitting there in the heaven, looking at all of us and giving you some reason. That type of Ishvara cannot stand to reason. That type of Ishvara is not. I myself, I am the creator of my own life. So then I say, I am Ananda Swarupa. Who is going to make me unhappy? Let me see. And I have got, simply you have become firmly established in this knowledge. That is how you face the world. Nothing can add or distract from my Anandam. Because I am of the nature of Anandam. So what you do is, all I understood by the intellect, but I am here only. Do you understand? That is why sorrow is not going at all. Continuous. One sorrow goes, another comes. Another goes, another comes. All samsara. Samsaradidi samsaraha. It goes on. There is no end to that samsara. Because as long as your Vyavahara mind is fertile, you will have samsara. The mind has become quite tender. The only way to reach there is to quieten the mind. Bring it to Amani Bhavam. By understanding, by sadhana. Why we need sadhana is only to gain that Amani Bhavam. The mind has, even for a second, it has stopped. Then in that moment you realize the truth. I keep on shouting, but so somebody has been very rude to me or said something very hurting. It's only illusory. It's a dream, not real. To one who thinks like this, there is no world at all. Is it not? To one who thinks like this, world has disappeared. Prapancha upashamam shantam. And what is the result? Shantam. Shivam. Advaidam. See, the whole book is talking only about that one verse, mind you. The entire book. And for that he has given so many tools. Ajadivadam, Asparshavadam, Asatkaryavadam and that vadam, this vadam. All for what? To establish Ajadi. Nothing is born, you are merely suffering by illusions. No, but do you know how many sorrows I have? Maybe. Like my own students told me once that all sorrows you create by your mind. And then why you create by the mind? Because you think that you are supposed to be sorrowful. Is it not true? I always wonder, how far the event never makes you sorrowful. What makes you sorrowful? The mind. The mind is also an illusory thing. And what sorrow it gives is also illusory. Because I really experienced this. One of my teachers, we had a party for the outgoing students. And we enjoyed ourselves, and the children said so many things about the teachers, and the teachers also. We had a big, nice party. after that, everybody went home, and a young teacher was there. And after she reached home, she got the news that her husband had passed away in some hotel in Hubli or something. Now, remember, she got the news next day morning. All the time he was dead. When she was having the party here, he was dead. Do you understand? The event does not make you unhappy. The moment I know, I become unhappy. So who is the culprit? The mind alone. Then she starts thinking, now how I will live alone, how I will bring up these children, who will earn money for me, so many things. And you are crying for yourself. Crying for yourself. Because how will I live hereafter is the question. And who is thinking all these things? The wise man sees the events of life as a flow. He does not bother so much. When one door is closed, another door will open. This is how it is. But that event cannot make you unhappy. So one man told me that these sorrows which come to you due to your prarabdha or whatever, prarabdha and all that will go when you come to this type of thinking. What prarabdha? What? Has he said the word prarabdha here? No. Has he said the word drishti srishti vadam? No. Has he said the word even eka jiva bahu jiva? Nothing. These drishti srishti vadis are like, will have eka jiva vada. So, we may say it was because of drishti, because of my seeing, or because there was a srishti, I saw it, or I saw it, and because there is a srishti. And because of it, there is a srishti. All this, where Gaudavada asks, why you are worried about a srishti which is not there? Whether it is the result of seeing or not seeing, does it make a difference? It's a very interesting topic that way. That is why, he carefully avoids Karyakarana. He carefully avoids many things which the Vedantin was holding on to. But you also remember that was when I was very, very young in the field of Vedanta. I was a child. Now I have grown up. All those stories are good for. So what is a story? Karma. All that is a karma theory is a story. You understand? Nothing he mentions even. So from the absolute standpoint, that man told me that for all of us, the destiny will function. We call it destiny. Destiny will work. But it will come to me also, to everyone also, like in the form of sorrows and joys, or karma bhalas will come to us. If karma bhala come to us, whether I should become sorrowful or joyous, that is my choice. You understand this? That is my choice. That is why I told you, you think you have to be sorrowful. Because that is what will people think if I don't cry now? The jnani never. Or jnani doesn't have any restriction. You feel like crying, he will cry. If he doesn't feel like crying, one day there was a Laozi, I think, the great Chinese philosopher, who was well known in his days, and his wife, and he had a very intimate relationship as a husband-wife, and one day she died. So the king came to see Laozi. How he has, poor man, has lost his wife. We all go to see Usually, when anybody loses the wife or husband or whatever. And when he came there, he was surprised that Laozi was laughing away. Hey, the wife is gone and you are laughing. Why are you laughing? Then he said, I have to laugh. She had such a good life and she enjoyed her life and she was such a nice wife. Always served me with so much dedication. So I am laughing with joy. Now she has gone without any difficulty. See this, or he may cry also. And therefore that also Jnani has a reason. Why shouldn't I cry if I feel like crying? There is no restriction. Jnani doesn't have vidhi or nishedha. Don't cry for somebody else. No. You cry if you feel like crying. You don't cry if you don't feel like crying, because this is life which goes and comes like this, like a flow. If you have become withdrawn from this world of illusions, then you will need not cry. You know everything will go one day, including my body, which is so near to me. It will also go, Not afraid of death. A very pessimistic philosophy. Like that you think, no, it is not pessimistic. It requires a strong person, strong mind. Even that Vyavahara mind should be strong. It should not be a weak mind. Then we realize the truth. We are all Atma Balam comes to you. And you are a different personality altogether. You live in the same world as you and I. They live in the same world, but they are different. They don't belong to this world. They have gone beyond all divisions into that one infinite reality. That is what he says here. Yavad Hedubal. It is a, when you feel you are a karta, I am doing, I am the doer. That thought is Yavad Hedubala Avesha Tavad Hedubala Udbhavaha. So that avesham is there, that I am a karta. When you are in a vaikar, then you are a karta. You think you are a karta. Karta means doer. When in dream, you are a bhokta. In dream, what are you? In the sapna, I am a bhokta. Madhura bhung. In that Sobidi Madhura bhung. And in Swapna, I am enjoying the phalas of what I have experienced in the waking state. So, Karta, Bhokta and all belonging to dream and waking state. And already we have proved dream and waking states are mithya states. So, is there a Hedu and Bhala? No Hedu, no Bhala. Both are mithya. Karyakarana is not acceptable. He says, Chine hedubala veshe nasti hedubala udbhavaha. So, they are all kalpidam. Karyakaranas are kalpidam. One who knows this, and ajnanam should go, when the ignorance goes, karyakarana bhavam are all kalpidam. What about karma theory? Also kalpidam. What about so many theories which were fed to us when we were on the path? All of them are hypotheses which we have now dumped into the garbage. X is equal to this thing, whatever. If X is equal to, like that if you say, in the mathematics class, after this teacher has proved the sum, the equation, then X has no need for you. Is it not? Similarly here, once I have understood the truth, I have no need for these props to the questions which an Ajnani asks. And then we give one prop. Another one says something, we give another prop. Like that, there are so many props on which we are dancing. Now I have understood the truth. What will happen? All the props are. The pole falls down as soon as you reach your heights. Isn't it? I want to jump very high. Then I use the pole. And I take the pole and run and jump. And when I reach the height, what do? I leave the pole. Similarly, when I reach the highest state, I leave all the supports that had been holding me till now. It is very difficult. You have been fed up on these theories. And now you are saying, oh, what? Jadi is not born at all. You understand? It's a little bit difficult to swallow. It's very difficult to swallow. Because I've been brought up in all these mithya theories. Now a teacher is saying, drop it. And you are not able to drop it. So long as you hug karyakarana bhava, hedu bala avesha will work. Hedu balas will work. Karyakarana. For everything, causation hunting is the hobby of the intellect. So you want to know, what is the karanam? As long as you are having, and how will I get over it? By Advaita Darshana, Bhrantijanya Hedubalavesha will disappear. Until that time, it will not go. Neither a Karana nor a Karya I am the pure self. Yavat Hedubalavesha Samsarasthavadayadaham Kshine Hedubalaveshe Samsaram na pravadyade. So you go on living a life of Karya Karana. Hedubhalam means Karya Karana. And you live a life. Why my child is doing like, why am I unhappy, for example, usual. Then, what do you say? There is a karanam. What is the karanam? My house circumstances are not conducive to any happiness. You put karanam on someone else. Other people there. My children are like this, my husband is like that. What is this life? Then go. Who is preventing you from going if Karya Karana is so strong? If you are working in the office, then you say, my boss is such a nasty fellow. Why are you unhappy in the office? What to do? You know that boss is terrible. So I am unhappy. Nobody says, I am the karanam for my own unhappiness. Nobody says. Why? Because when things went, Gurudev will always say, you must learn, you are a Vedantist, you must learn to make a castle with the stones that people throw at you. Very beautiful it is. You are throwing it. Let me keep the stone. And when there are, so many stones, I will build my shed or whatever. They are the wise people. There is no such thing, nobody can make you unhappy unless you want to be unhappy. You are living in Karya Karanam. That is why. Says nobody can be a Karanam for my unhappiness. No, but my husband is like this. That is why I am unhappy. Very often you will see we have mishandled the situation very badly, and you have put your husband on a very high pedestal, and suddenly he showed his clay feet. Then you are unhappy. Who is responsible? For everything you will go and inquire, you will see you are responsible. And when you are responsible, you forgive yourself. Is it not? Easily you will forgive, but you will not forgive the boss. You will not forgive that or this. This karyakarana buddhi we have to overcome. Let it be there. Okay? As long as Hedubhalavesha is there, that long samsara will persist. Let it be. It will persist. Because you want to find a karanam for everything. Even your own sorrow. Mistake will be yours, but you will put the blame on somebody else. And not only somebody else, or the boss, or the time. Don't think only human beings. Don't we say? It is that, what is it? Sade Saat. What a poor time has done for you, nothing. But you say it is Sade Saat is running, that is why I am unhappy. Are Babre, you have chosen to be unhappy. I am not talking from the book in this matter. I am talking from my own direct personal experience. When I know I am unnecessarily becoming unhappy because my expectations from others were very, very high. Who asked you? The karanam finally is my own mind. For every sorrow. This is how you make Vedanta practical. Don't think that Vedanta is in the books or on the shelf, the libraries. No. Every moment you must live Vedanta. Then what will happen? Not that the sorrows had all gone from your life. Not that tragedies don't come to you or anything can come. But I have become samaha. Samatvam yoga uchyade. Is it not? That is yoga. Nirmamaha, nirahangaraha, samadukha sukha kshimi. Samadukha sukham. Why? Because nobody is responsible for my sorrow. I myself choose to be sorrowful. So one of the teachers is no longer with us. He used to tell us, refuse to be sorrowful. Whatever the reason is. Break that chain of karyakaranam. Then you are happy always. Okay, yavad hedubalavesha samsaras tavadayadaha chine hedubalaveshe samsaram na prabadyade. Then I know why I am unhappy. Not because of karma bala, not because of somebody else is bad. I do not know how to meet the world and yet not be in the world, not be of the world. Such a person is a strong person and he knows how to live in this world. Samvritya jayade sarvam Shashwadam nasti tena vai Sadbhavena hajam sarvam Uchchedastena nasti vai Sarvam uchcheda. When it joined together, it becomes sarvam uchcheda. So now we won't do that. It will be time. Bell is gone already. Next class.